Be me. 43, VP of Sales at software company in Boston. Manage a team of 12 sales representatives. Been in this position for 3 years. Work my way up. Always consider myself a progressive leader. Implemented lots of diversity and inclusion initiatives. Created safe spaces for women on the team. Mandatory training on unconscious bias and microaggressions. Regular check-ins about workplace culture and respect. Proud of creating an equitable environment. My team is 8 men and 4 women currently. The women seem happy, engaged, thriving. They come to me with ideas, share their wins. We have good rapport. They appreciate my leadership. The men are different, always have been. Polite but distant, professional but cold. They do their jobs well, hit their numbers. But there's no warmth, no real connection. Tell myself it's because they're uncomfortable with female boss, that they're used to old boys club mentality, that my progressive approach threatens them. That's fine. Change is uncomfortable. Monday morning, get called in a meeting with my boss, Richard. He's the SVP of sales, been here 20 years. We need to talk about your team, he starts. Immediately defensive. What about them? I've received 7 transfer requests in the past month. Feel my stomach drop. Transfer requests from who? All of your male team members except 1. 7 out of 8 men want to leave my team. That's not coincidence. That's a pattern. Why? What's the reason they're giving? Richard looks uncomfortable. They're all vague, say they want new challenges. But when I press them individually, they all said similar things about your management style. Feel anger rising. Here we go. Let me guess, they can't handle a female boss. They're uncomfortable with accountability. Richard shakes his head slowly. That's not what they said at all. Then what? Tell me exactly. He pulls out a folder, opens it carefully. A document of the conversations. Wanted to be thorough. They say your leadership style is hostile toward men. That you treat male and female team members differently, that they feel constantly judged and questioned. This is absurd. I treat everyone fairly. I hold everyone to the same standards. Richard looks at me directly. Do you though? Honestly, do you? Feel defensive but also uncertain. What specifically did they say? He reads from his notes. Each quote hits hard. Marcus said you question his sales tactics with female clients. Imply he's being inappropriate when he's just being friendly. Marcus is one of my top performers. Never had issues. I was just making sure he's respectful. Richard continues reading. David said you critique his emails to female colleagues. Tell him his tone is too direct or too familiar. But never critique the women's emails the same way. Thought I was helping David communicate better. James said you rejected his mentorship of junior female rep. Said it would look inappropriate, suggested she work with you instead. Was protecting her from potential harassment. Tom said you hold men to different standards in meetings. That when women speak, you encourage them. But when men do, you question their assumptions. Just trying to balance the discussion, give women space. Carlos said you comment on his work-life balance. Question him leaving on time to pick up his kids. But never question the women doing the same thing. Men should be present fathers, was encouraging that. Kevin said you dismissed his complaint about workload. Told him other people manage just fine, but gave Sarah extra support when she had similar concerns. Sarah was overwhelmed. Kevin was just complaining. Richard keeps reading, more examples piling up. All 7 cited the mandatory men's accountability sessions, where you discuss toxic masculinity and male privilege. Said they feel attacked, not educated. Those sessions are important for growth. And they all mentioned the promotion process last quarter, where you promoted 2 women over higher performing men. Said you told them the women needed visible success. Was trying to balance the gender representation. Richard closes the folder, looks at me seriously. Look, I know you're trying to create equity, but from their perspective, you're not creating equity. You're creating a reverse discrimination situation. Feel my face getting hot, anger and shame mixing. So what? They want me replaced with a man. They want someone who'll let them get away with sexism. Richard sighs, frustrated with me. They want a manager who treats them fairly. who doesn't assume they're problematic because they're men, who evaluates them on performance, not gender. Want to argue, but can't find the words. I'm going to approve the transfers, Richard says. I can't force them to stay on a team where they feel targeted. Panic rising, losing most of my team. What am I supposed to do? Hire all women. No, you're supposed to figure out why this happened. Why 7 competent men all want to leave at once. Why the only man staying is the newest hire who hasn't experienced enough yet. He stands up, meeting over. Fix this, or I'll have to reconsider your leadership. Leave his office feeling shaken and angry. Angry at the men for being sensitive. Angry at Richard for not supporting me. Angry at the system for not understanding. But also scared, really scared. 7 men leaving can't be coincidence. Can't all be wrong about the same things. Back at my desk, pull up my team files. Look at performance reviews from past year. See the pattern I've been blind to. Women on my team, all rated exceeds expectations. Men on my team, mix of meets and exceeds. Even though the men's sales numbers are higher. Even though they hit their targets more consistently. I've been rating based on potential and growth. Giving women benefit of doubt, men extra scrutiny. Look at my calendar, see the one-on-ones. Women, hour-long sessions, supportive coaching. Men, 30 minutes, focused on numbers and feedback. Look at my emails, search for patterns. Find myself using different language. With women, encouraging, warm, mentoring. With men, directive, questioning, corrective. Spend the afternoon really examining my leadership. Every decision, every interaction, every policy. See what they've been seeing all along. That I don't trust men by default. That I assume their motives are problematic. That I treat them as potential problems, not team members. That evening, can't sleep thinking about this. About my team, my approach, my blind spots. Decide I need to hear it directly from them. Not through Richard, but from their own words. Next morning, email Marcus before he transfers. Can we talk off the record, just honestly? He agrees reluctantly, meets me at coffee shop. Neutral territory, away from office. I want to understand why you're leaving. Really understand, not through HR filters. He's hesitant, doesn't want to burn bridges. You can be honest, I need to hear it. He takes a deep breath, decides to trust me. You treat me like I'm a problem waiting to happen. Every client interaction, you question my intentions. Every success, you find something to critique. Give specific example, I remember it differently. That deal with the female CTO from that tech company. I closed a $200,000 contract after building rapport with her. You pulled me aside and asked if I was being appropriate. Did do that, thought I was being vigilant. She was laughing at your jokes, seemed engaged. I thought maybe you were being too friendly. Marcus looks hurt, reliving it. She was laughing because I was building relationship. That's sales. That's what we do with all clients. But you assumed it was something inappropriate. Because she was a woman and I'm a man. He's right, I did assume that. Meanwhile, Sarah flirts with male clients constantly. Laughs at their jokes, touches their arms, builds rapport. You call it excellent relationship building. When I do the exact same thing, it's potential harassment. The double standard is glaring when stated plainly. I feel like I can't be myself, can't be natural. I have to be this perfect, neutered version. Can't be friendly, can't be funny, can't be human. Just robotic and careful and distant. His frustration is palpable and justified. What about the accountability sessions, I ask? He actually laughs, bitter sound. You mean the monthly lectures about how men are the problem? About toxic masculinity and privilege and patriarchy? Thought those were educational discussions. We sit there while you tell us everything wrong with being a man. How we need to be more emotional, more vulnerable. How traditional masculinity is harmful and needs to be unlearned. Was trying to create awareness. Then you wonder why we're quiet and withdrawn. Why we don't speak up in meetings anymore. Why we don't engage with you personally. He leans forward, want me to really hear this. I have a daughter. I want her to have opportunities. I support women in the workplace. Genuinely do. But your version of equality feels like punishment. Like I'm paying for things other men did. Like being male means being guilty until proven innocent. Every word lands, cutting through my defenses. The other guys feel the same way. He's quiet for a moment, then continues. David is tired of walking on eggshells with every email. James wanted to mentor Sarah because he's good at sales. But you made it weird, made it about gender. Tom is exhausted from being questioned about work-life balance. When the women leave early, it's self-care. When he does it, you question his commitment. Each example is another wound, another failure. And the promotions, that was the last straw for several guys. The promotion cycle I was so proud of. Kevin had higher numbers than both women you promoted. Carlos had more experience and better client retention. But you promoted the women for optics and representation, said it was about balancing the team. You literally told them that in the announcement, that you were excited to have more women in leadership. What message does that send to the men? That performance doesn't matter. Only gender does. He's right, completely right. I did exactly that, said out loud. We're not against women succeeding, Marcus says firmly. We're against being held to different standards. Against being assumed guilty of sexism. Against being treated like we're the enemy. Feel tears threatening. This is devastating. I thought I was creating equality. You created a hostile environment for men. Same thing you were trying to prevent for women. Just targeted at different people. We sit in heavy silence, processing. What would you need to stay? I finally ask. I'm not staying, I'm done. But if you actually want to change, start treating people as individuals. Stop assuming men are problematic by default. Stop having different standards for men and women. Stop making everything about gender politics. He stands to leave, then adds one more thing. And maybe examine why you need men to be the enemy. Why you can't see us as people, only as threats. That's not leadership. That's just bias. He leaves. I sit there alone, processing everything. He's right, they're all right. I've been doing exactly what I criticized, just from different ideology with different targets. Spend the next few days talking to each man individually. David, Tom, James, Carlos, Kevin, all of them. Each conversation reveals more of the same pattern. Different examples, same fundamental issue. I don't trust men, I don't like men. I treat them as problems, not people. I hold them to impossible standards, while giving women every benefit of doubt. The stories pile up, become undeniable. Kevin working 60 hours to hit his numbers. Getting passed over for promotion for someone working 40. Being told it's about representation, not performance. James offering to mentor Sarah because she asked. Being told no because it might look inappropriate. Sarah getting male mentor instead with my blessing. Tom leaving exactly at 5 p.m. to pick up his kids. Being asked if he's really committed to his career. While women doing same are praised for work-life balance. David sending friendly email to female colleague. Being pulled aside and told to be more professional. While women send identical emails with no comment. Carlos achieving highest client satisfaction scores. Being told he needs to work on his emotional intelligence. While lower-performing women are praised for theirs. All 7 men, all the same experience. Being treated as guilty, as problems, as less than. While women are presumed innocent, supported, elevated. That's not equality, that's just different discrimination. Week later, the transfers go through. 7 men move to different teams across company. My team is now down to 1 man and 4 women. The man is newest hire, hasn't been here long enough to see the pattern. Have to hire 5 new people to replace the men who left. Richard makes it clear what he expects. Hire the best people regardless of gender. And treat them all equally, actually equally, or this will be your last team to manage. Spend a month interviewing candidates. My instinct is to hire all women, prove a point. But catch myself, that's exactly the problem. Hire based on qualifications and fit. End up with 3 men and 2 women. The best candidates, regardless of my ideology. Have to completely restructure my management approach. No more gender-based policies or initiatives. No more different standards for men and women. No more accountability sessions about toxic masculinity. Just straightforward leadership focused on performance. First team meeting with new composition is awkward. The women from my original team are confused. Used to being the favored ones, now everyone's equal. Sarah actually pulls me aside after. Why aren't we doing the women's empowerment sessions anymore? Because we're going to focus on sales skills for everyone, not gender-specific initiatives. She's disappointed, benefited from the old system. I thought you were committed to supporting women. I am, by making sure everyone has equal opportunity, not by giving anyone special treatment based on gender. 3 months later, team dynamics are completely different. Everyone is treated the same, held to same standards, evaluated on performance, not gender or potential. The new men are engaged, contributing, thriving. The women are working harder, rising to the standard. Overall team performance is actually higher. Without the gender politics, people just focus on work. Run into Marcus at company event 6 months later. How's your new team? I ask. Good, really good actually. My new manager is fair, treats everyone the same. Feel pang of regret and understanding. I owe you an apology for how I managed you. For assuming the worst, for not trusting you. He nods, accepting it. I appreciate that, genuinely. For what it's worth, you're not a bad person. You were just so focused on helping women that you didn't see you were hurting men. The observation is kind, but accurate. Can I ask you something honestly, he says. Of course. Why did you hate us so much? I didn't hate you. I was trying to create equity. He shakes his head gently. No, there was something else there. Some assumption that we were the enemy. Where did that come from? Think about it, tracing it back honestly. I grew up watching my mom struggle. She was passed over for promotions, dismissed by male bosses. I watched her work twice as hard for half the recognition. Marcus listens without judgment. So I spent my career trying to fix that, trying to be the boss who supported women. But somewhere along the way it became about punishing men, about making them pay for what happened to her. Saying it out loud makes it real, makes it clear. That's not their fault though, he says gently. No, it's not, I see that now. Too late for your team, but not too late to change. He's gracious, more than I deserve. Your new team is lucky they get the improved version. We talk for a while longer, actually talk. Not manager to employee, just people. He shares about his daughter, his hopes for her. I share about my journey, my learning. It's the conversation we should have had 3 years ago. If I'd been willing to see him as a person, instead of a representative of problematic masculinity. Year after the mass exodus, my team is thriving. Mix of men and women, all performing well. No gender politics, no special treatment. Just clear expectations and fair evaluation. Get my annual review from Richard. Significant improvement in your leadership. Team performance is up. Retention is perfect. Whatever you changed, keep doing it. Feel proud and ashamed simultaneously. Proud of the progress. Ashamed it took losing 7 people. I stopped managing based on gender. Started managing based on performance. Richard nods approvingly. That's all anyone wanted. Just to be treated fairly as individuals, not as representatives of their gender. The lesson seems obvious in hindsight, but took losing my entire male team to learn it. TFW, your entire male team requests transfers. TFW 7 out of 8 men want to leave at once. TFW, they all cite the same issues with your leadership. TFW, you treated men as problems by default. TFW, you had different standards based on gender. TFW, you promoted women over higher performing men for optics. TFW, your equality was actually just different discrimination. TFW, they tell you being male meant being guilty until proven innocent. TFW, you lost your entire team before understanding. TFW, fixing it meant treating everyone the same. Still believe in supporting women in workplace. Still think gender equity matters enormously. Still advocate for fair treatment and opportunity. But now understand that includes treating men fairly too. not assuming they're sexist by default, not holding them to different standards, not making them pay for systemic issues, just evaluating them as individuals based on their actual performance and behavior, not their gender or what other men have done. 7 men taught me that by leaving, by refusing to tolerate reverse discrimination, by demanding to be treated fairly, could have dismissed them as fragile or resistant, could have blamed them for not understanding, could have doubled down on my approach. But their unanimous departure forced me to look, to really examine what I was doing, to see the bias I couldn't see before, because it was dressed up as progressive values, because it felt like fighting for justice, because I was helping some people, even while hurting others. That's the danger of ideological certainty, of being so sure you're right, that you can't see when you're wrong, can't hear the people you're harming, can't admit that your solution became a problem. Lost 7 good employees learning that. 7 men who just wanted fair treatment, who wanted to be seen as individuals, who wanted their work to matter more than their gender. That shouldn't have been controversial, shouldn't have required a mass exodus to understand. But it did, and I'm grateful they had the courage to leave instead of suffering silently, to demand better instead of accepting it, to force me to change by refusing to stay. That's the real lesson at 43. The pattern I finally broke, the bias I finally saw, the leadership I finally learned. Better late than never. Better learning than staying certain. Better fairness than ideology. That's what I practice now. And my team is better for it. All of them, regardless of gender. Because they're all just people, trying to do good work, and deserving fair treatment. That's what leadership should have been. What finally became, after losing everyone to learn it.